I think we've known for a while that the Zionists have quite the grip on our social media. But now Netanyahu is essentially calling for war with social media companies, saying the algorithm needs to change. He's calling for censorship.
It's very hard to fight the deception, the lies, the starved children, the pictures of starved children who turn out to have cerebral palsy or other congenital diseases that leave them emaciated. And Israel is, of course, accused of starving children, pretty much the way that in the Middle Ages Jews were accused of killing Christian children for their blood. So what do you do against the lie that circles the earth 10 times before the truth has a chance to emerge? You have to shorten the war as speedily as possible. And frankly, we also have to do something about the algorithms and the social networks. This is a big challenge.
It's a lie, he says. All of the dead children, that's a lie. We're not killing dead children. And all the ones that have starved that you've seen pictures of, those were just ones with cerebral palsy. Don't worry about them, right? Doesn't that sound kind of like the Holocaust? Does he not hear himself? Who was it that the Nazis got rid of first? It was the disabled, those who were not as physically fit, those who were not as desirable. Those are the ones that died first. It's okay, though. They had problems. They weren't perfect people. And so here he is saying, the kids that are dying, they have issues. They have issues that cause them to be malnourished. And sure, we weren't giving them all of the proper nutrition they needed, but, the weak die first. He actually says more here in a minute. I'm going to show you in regards to that. But there he is calling for social media to be censored. He's saying that the algorithms need to be changed. And when he's saying something like this, it's going to happen. And it's already started to happen. We just saw the pedophile that was running Twitter's censorship program for the Israelis. He's now been shipped off to Israel. No consequences, no charges against him. I'm sure he's still operating and running Twitter's or X's social media censorship campaigns. But now there's also, it turns out, this woman here, Erica Mindel, TikTok has overhauled its hate speech rules. It has banned users from calling the IDF terrorists. It has also narrowed its supremacy clause. It used to say all racial supremacy was wrong. Now it just says white supremacy is wrong only. So any other type of racial supremacy is okay, except white supremacy, which is very bizarre to shift that. Why would you need to shift that? What is it? What group is claiming superiority that you feel like you need to change it to where only white superiority is banned and negative, but no other, and I'm sure it's more than one group that's been, I could think of just off the top of my head, like 2 or 3 groups. But strange thing to be doing that. So she is a former, who is this person? Well, she is a former IDF instructor and self-described proud Zionist. That's who she is. So IDF instructor, proud Zionist. She is now in charge. She's just been hired 14 days ago or so, 2 weeks ago, or recently. So this is what in July this is Grok confirming this. Yes, TikTok hired Erica Mindel, a former IDF instructor, as public policy manager for hate speech in July of 2025. Her role involves shaping policies, monitoring trends, and focusing on anti-Semitism, per reports from Economic Times, Jerusalem Post, and the New Arab. Why would social media companies even go along with this, is what I'm trying to figure out. Why would they go along with the Israelis' plot and ploy to ban certain speech and to change the algorithms? Why do they even go along with this? Because there's a lot of money. I mean, I think that when we saw what happened with Elon Musk after he bought X and he was kind of saying certain things about Israel or about Jews and what happened? Suddenly all these advertisers says, we're pulling out. You're going to lose, your billions of dollars of investment into X. The next thing we saw was Elon Musk was in Israel doing his pilgrimage. And he comes back and he suddenly is pro-Israel. And so there's clearly a lot of sway there. There's clearly a real reason for these social media companies to put in IDF instructors and IDF pedophiles in charge of their social media algorithms and censorship. And they're doing it, and that's the scary part. So this war that he's waging, this is going to be the easiest war he's ever fought. He's been bombing 7 countries. Now he's going to bomb social media, but no need to bomb social media. All you have to do is just threaten them with money being pulled. I want to show you this clip. This is from the same interview on trigonometry, and Netanyahu is talking about, there's some members of his political government that are very extreme. We've talked about them a lot, Ben Gvir and Smotrich, right? These are extremely hardline, genocidal maniacs. And they're questioning Netanyahu why he allows these voices to be amplified, and that's maybe part of the perception problem. Now, these two on trigonometry, they're pro-Israel. And so, there's this kind of thinking that, well, the reason why you're having this perception problem, the reason why you're losing the propaganda campaign, the reason Israel's losing the propaganda campaign is because children are being killed at a very high rate, and we're seeing it live streamed on our social media apps. So that is why they're losing the prop. It's not because one side's better at telling stories than the other. We're literally not needing a story to be told. We're watching it. But people are still under the belief it's just the stories that are being told and the voices that are being amplified, and they're questioning him on this. Now, Netanyahu says what sounds like, nice and, no, I don't, their agenda is not my agenda. But I want you to listen all the way to the very end, because what he says at the very end is actually the most shocking part of this clip.
There are critics of yours, Prime Minister, who will say, well, part of the reason that Israel is losing the propaganda war is when you have ministers like Smotrich making incendiary or inflammatory comments, and there doesn't seem to be any particular pushback from your government to this. They go, well, what does a Prime Minister really believe?
Well, what I believe I say. In a parliamentary system, people are free to say. Sometimes they say things they don't quite mean. It happens all the time. It happens in any parliamentary system, as you know, and it happens in Britain too. But I think that on the whole, the government is united. Most of the people are united, not all. You have a very active fringe.
Prime Minister, forgive me, but these aren't parliamentarians. These are people who are part of your government, and they remain part of your government after they say these things that to many people, even your friends, sound a little bit like ethnic cleansing is being discussed.
Well, we're not discussing ethnic cleansing, and to the extent that we have these conversations around the cabinet, the security cabinet, that is actually not being discussed by these people. But they have disagreements with me. That's part of a parliamentary coalition, and they can leave. And in fact, some of them have left the government in the course of this war. They came back because they disagreed with my decisions on hostage negotiations. They left, or they voted against, or they did both. And that's common. And to describe this as anything but unique, this is a democracy. I think there too, come on, understand, very well how that works in Britain and how it works elsewhere. I don't condone the idea of the ethnic cleansing. I don't seek to occupy Gaza and settle it. I think that our goal there is to make sure that we have a security belt, a security cordon, which will probably.
But Prime Minister, may I just interrupt? When you have your finance minister making a speech and talking about occupying Gaza, and there doesn't seem to be any pushback within the government, people quite rightly, in my opinion, would say, well, surely aren't you condoning that type of rhetoric?
No.
And it's exacerbating Israel's PR problem.
I disagree completely. When somebody says that, and I'm asked, is that your policy? And I say, no, it's not my policy. I don't intend to build settlements or communities in Gaza, and not Israeli ones. I want a non-Israeli civilian governance after that is committed to living in peace with us and doesn't condone terror, educate their children to terror, finance terror, or launch terror, which is what Hamas does, and frankly, what the Palestinian Authority would do too. So we're not going that route. But I don't want to build Israeli communities there, and I've said it openly. And they asked me, your Minister of Finance says this, and what do you say? Well, I say I disagree with him. And I say that, he's entitled to say his things. That's not ethnic cleansing. It's a view. It's a legitimate view, which I happen to disagree with. But I can tell you that I think there, too, the statements that nullify and challenge the various lies that are leveled at us, you just can't keep up with it. It's like a flood. I'm too busy winning the war, sometimes winning the actual war, to debunk every single lie that is put against us or against me. You're vilified, you're a war criminal, you're a demon, you're demonized all the time. And just say, noise, put that aside, win the war, win it judiciously, use just means, and have, in a just war that you have to win if you're going to live and survive in this very brutal area. And let me tell you, we will win it. And I think we'll win the peace with it too. Because I think in our area, guess what? In your area too, people respect the strong. And the strong have to win. The strong can be evil or they can be good. But you cannot lose. If you lose, nobody will make alliances with you. Nobody will make peace with you. You make peace with the strong. You make alliances with the strong. The strong survive. But the strong survive not only through their guts, but also through their wits and through their commitment to their cause. And my cause is the survival of the one and only Jewish state, often against incredible vilification and lies. But that's the way this cookie crumbles, but the state of Israel will not.
He said it to us right there. The strong could be evil. Doesn't matter. The strong win. That's what he says. Could be evil. Could be good. The strong win. And my only goal, and it's those that have a conviction to their beliefs, which he has, the Jewish state, which didn't exist in many people alive today, their lifetime. When they were born, it did not exist. Now suddenly it exists. And he's fighting not for the survival of it. That's not the right term, because there are many, many people today who are alive, and when they were born, the state of Israel wasn't around. All the boomers, basically, the older boomers. So this isn't about survival, obviously. I mean, you and I already know this, right? This is about the creation of a Jewish state and continuing that creation and continuing the expansion of it. So that's what it's really about. But he says it right there to us, the strong. It's about being strong. So he doesn't really care if there's evil in his plan or ploy or whatever it is he's doing. What he cares most about is he strong and is he going to win? And as long as he's strong, you'll respect the strong, and that's the end of the story. It doesn't matter how evil that strong is. Strong survives. And that's what I've figured is his end game this whole entire time, that he's going full steam ahead on a genocide, taking Gaza today. It'll be West Bank soon. And he's going to do it because he knows that it's now or never. You either do it because the world is turned on Israel. The world has seen what Israel is. The world doesn't want anything to do with Israel. And the world believes Israel's evil. And so he knows it's time to do it now before the world shuts him down. And so he will go into full genocide mode. He already has, in order to accomplish that. No genocidal maniac says, yes, I'm committing a genocide. Of course they don't. They make excuses for it. They say it's something else, but we all know exactly what it is because we're seeing it live streamed to our phones, and he doesn't want that either. That's why he's waging war with social media algorithms, and he's ensuring that the right people, IDF people, are being put in place at these social media platforms like TikTok and X and everywhere else, and ensuring that pretty soon we're going to start seeing and I'm already starting to see it on my algorithm. When I jump onto Twitter, I feel like all I see is pro-Israel content at this point. I see a lot of defense of Israel, a lot of defending, and I don't even know what it is they're originally defending. You know, they're defending something that was said, and I didn't even get to see the original thing that was said. And now suddenly I'm just seeing a barrage of the Zionists going and defending whatever this, and then I have to go and hunt down, well, what was the original thing you guys are all mad about? So I think the algorithm shift is already happening, because Netanyahu's made a big stink about it, and the Israelis have, and they have a lot of power and money and backing. And so 7 countries bombing them wasn't enough. Committing genocide wasn't enough. Here's Netanyahu now waging a complete war on algorithms. Thank you for watching this clip from the full Kim Iversen Show, which you can catch Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern at KimIversonShow.com. It is free for you to watch. Again, 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern, KimIversonShow.com. See you there.